Okay, guys, it gets even better. Not only is she a neo-Nazi, she's also running a crypto grift claiming that it's supporting Ukraine. She's running Ukraine DAO, Cult of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Ukraine DAO uses the power of Web3 tech and community to win the war.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Damn.
It's all of the topics I cover. Freaks on the internet, Nazis, and crypto people all coming together in one beautiful castle.
All of your best friends are here to tell you how much they love you. All of your best friends are here.
I'm going insane right now. I literally feel like I am going insane. I have taken so many points of madness damage right now. This is so much worse than I ever could have imagined. All right, guys, buckle up, because it turns out the founder of NAFO is far more racist and anti-Semitic than I even would have imagined in my fever dreams.
I bet I already actually know this.
Who could have seen it coming that the founder of NAFO expansion is non-negotiable, is a Nazi, right? SaintJavelin.org, followed by Dylan Burns. All right, so tweeted this, a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff. And what else did he post? He said nice about Adolf Hitler. Posted more pictures of... Okay, posting Goebbels stuff. Just posting Nazi memes. Posting Based General Lee. Posting Sam Hyde. Referring to a guy who ran over...
Sam Hyde with the Hitler quote, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't a Hitler quote. Someone else. But referring to a guy who ran over peaceful protesters... Based.
This is crazy.
There is no political solution, calling for political violence. Yeah, it's like really wild. Yeah.
You think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and just tell lies?
Who could have predicted the founder of NAFO was an open neo-Nazi? I, for one, am very shocked.
I'm never shocked anymore. I'm just upset.
Hitler would have literally killed you. So
I'm just like disappointed at this point.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in all of you. In recent weeks, a flurry of articles celebrating Twitter's anonymous troll army, NAFO, the social media movement of dogmatic pro-Ukraine keyboard warriors with customized Shiba Inu avatars are about ridiculing, gaslighting, and piling on to those labeled by the fellas as enemy combatants in their information war with Russia, which many have assumed NAFO is helping Ukraine win. But it's increasingly obvious it's not necessarily the case. Remember this one? Ukrainians trolling Russians. This was like the most unhinged tweet from a fella. Ukrainian trolling Russians with World War II German accentuated broadcast telling them to surrender in true NAFO spirit. Weird that true NAFO spirit is the voice of World War II Germans.
I hate these fucking people so much.
Who were the Germans in World War II again?
They were Nazis.
Oh, they were Nazis.
Did you not know that, Horse?
I did not see that coming.
That joke's not funny, Horse.
I know. Earlier this month, Kiev Post declared it was joining NAFO. Almost a year ago, the English-language Ukrainian newspaper fired its staff, and since then has remained a shell as Ukraine's global voice. Now, the Kiev Post is largely run by right-wingers from abroad, like its news editor, Jay Beecher, a former organizer for the British UKIP party, who has spent the last several years on a multi-platform project to prove Ghislaine Maxwell's innocence.
What?
No! No!
I mean, like, everything is, like, just, like...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Chat! He is the guy running the Kiev Post has spent the past several years trying to prove Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent. Oh my god! Oh, he's a pal! Oh my god!
I'm literally doing the Simpson meme in my head, where I'm like, say it again, Mel. Project Mockingbird. It's always Nazis and pedos.
Project Mockingbird! Guys, now that we've said Project Mockingbird again, Project Mockingbird 2, somebody needs to gift 100 subs. In this moment, is this a moment? It's a moment now. I just made it a moment.
Dude, I hate Project Mockingbird. It sucks.
I hate it. It sucks. Not the biggest fan of Project Mockingbird. Holy shit!
Why is it? I can't believe like this is real. Like I know like I sound like a fucking idiot right now, and I just can't believe this is fucking real. Like it's so unbelievably goofy. It's real. I know.
Oh my god. Maxwell's innocence. Today, the Kiev Post published an interview with Jay Beecher, an internationally well-known Nazi, with the internationally well-known Nazi Elena Seminica. Beecher is a hard-right journalist from the UK who spent the last several years on a multi-platform project to prove Ghislaine Maxwell's innocence. The men behind the myth, Azov. So the guy's a neo-Nazi and a nonce. Amazing.
Why is everything terrible?
Ah! On August
die.
31st, Ivana Stratner announced that she was joining the Kiev Post as a special correspondent to make people aware across the globe how Russia's military has been using information as a weapon. The new world will win the info war. As a research fellow at the neoconservative American Enterprise Institute, according to her bio, Strodner has been concentrating on cyberspace, cyber attack, and Russian hybrid warfare. On August 10th, she announced she was joining NAFO to contribute to their mission to count Russian propaganda on social media.
100 bits is basically the same as 100 subs, right?
Yeah, more or less, yes. There's nothing more fun than NAFO than to gaslight Russian propagandists. They go crazy, and this is precisely why it works, according to the latest data. Since then,
I hate that voice chorus.
thank you. Since then, Ivana Strodner has acted like a spokesperson for NAFO, upsetting some of the fellas in the process. I'm now officially NAFO's propagandist. She also created NAFO TV soon thereafter, and she was accused of riding the coattails of NAFO and having used us from the start. They further complained of Strodner, tired of seeing the same person step in front of the cameras and speak for all of NAFO. More recently, this individual deserted the internet army with a spat with another OG fella, in particular, the forgers who make the avatar. It seems that NAFO's rate of friendly fire is on the rise.
What the fuck is an OG fella? Like, this shit is not in the Bible.
No, an OG fella is a fucking person who works for the CIA. This article is a goldmine.
Just the phrase OG fella is just, like, in my brain.
Freak Museum, you should hop in VC if you can talk right now, because I want to hear Lana screaming. I know.
Screaming.
I'm sorry, Lana. I want to use you for content.
No,
I
Lana,
know
I
your
don't give a
screams are
fuck
going to
if
be
you're
great.
making food. You're gonna starve like I am right now.
Yeah, I'm
in
hungry
here and
too, but I
scream.
need to hear
Yeah,
you
fuck
screaming in
you.
anguish.
Fuck you, Lana. You can eat your mushrooms later.
Um,
Lana, your live reaction is all I need.
Yeah,
Like, how
peer
much
pressure
gaslit-
works.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, Lana's gonna yell at us now.
Oh my god, we peer pressured Lana. Back to this article. I'm losing my fucking mind right now. I feel completely insane.
hurts.
I can feel completely insane. This segment, I need 2 cars to edit this down. This is going to YouTube for sure. So
You
moving.
did 2 cars to edit with Lana in here.
Oh, of course. So their rate of friendly fire is on the rise. For the record, I don't want to be a part of a group that acts this way. It's gross. I've nothing to prove to anyone. Have fun being petty on Twitter like I didn't help all this time. All day now, I'm getting DMs from people telling me what assholes NAFO have been to them. From @DreamsPirate. By embracing NAFO, the Kiev Post has essentially declared itself an information war, i.e. propaganda outfit. These days, its editor-in-chief is Bodhan Nahalyo, who grew up in the UK as a member of the Ukrainian Youth Organization. No, its editor-in-chief is with the Ukrainian Youth Organization. All right, and they're going to tell you guys who that is, which is known as the International Facade Structure for the Clandestine Banderite Faction of the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, the OUNB. That's right, guys. The OUNB. Oh, my God. No way. Okay, let me pull you up. Oh, my God.
It just keeps getting worse.
Okay, yeah.
It, like,
Okay,
it
Lana's
just
in here.
keeps getting
Oh
worse.
my god. He's in the editor is a fucking Nazi. Oh my god. Evidently, Hilo matured politically, and in 1994 wrote an informative series of articles on political extremism in Ukraine. But he's backslid, and now under his leadership, the Kyiv Post misinforms readers, alongside propagandist photo shoots, that the neo-Nazi Azov regiment contains a sum total of 0 fascists or swastikas anywhere to be seen. Really? Really, that's weird, because I have literally seen dozens of Azov members with fucking Totenkopf tattoos on their neck, SS lightning bolts, sauna rads with swastikas in them. So, by my count, there's at least 2 swastikas in there. You must not have counted very well. I recommend you go back and watch the Guardian Azovet documentary, where you can see 2 swastikas on the Azov guys teaching kids. From Malcolm Nance, the Azov Brigade were officially cleansed of Nazis. Do stragglers exist? I'm sure, but there are likely way more Nazis in the U.S. Armed Forces than there are in the entire neo-Nazi Azov Brigade. They just used the Wolf's angle because they are very big fans of Germanic folklore. Even with...
What is this ridiculous apologism?
This is crazy. Even within NAFO, that's what Dylan Burns would say. Even within NAFO, there's disagreement about the Azov movement. One of NAFO's biggest accounts, Ukraine memes for NATO teens. So,
holy shit, are you fucking...
Oh so by the way, Ukraine memes for NATO teens, and I'll pull this account up real quick. This was the account that yesterday, or 2 days ago, posted a meme about a Imperial Japanese kamikaze pilot flying their plane into the Kerch Bridge.
And Dylan Burns retweeted it, by the way.
Which Dylan Burns retweeted. Most of their things are just pictures of guns and ammo. Now I can hear you. Hello.
Okay, great. Because I tried fucking yelling before and you didn't say shit.
Yeah, you were muted before. And you sound like you're coming through a tunnel. No, I was not. Oh, you were. You're definitely muted.
I unmuted specifically to yell at you. And there was no response, so I was in the void, I guess, for a second there.
Lana's extra mad now.
Yeah, you were definitely in the void there.
I've slept 5 hours. I had to go get a fucking blood test today. I'm hungry.
Damn.
This.
You're having a rough day there.
You're out for blood.
You're out for blood. You're out for NAFO blood.
Literally.
Let's see if I can find this picture, because they've posted so much shit in the past few days that it seems impossible to find this unless they went ahead and deleted it. Are you calling in from your phone, I'm guessing? Oh, here's another Imperial Japanese meme. The NAFO teens guys posted NAFO 69 Mitsubishi Ryzen 0 showing a Japanese kamikaze pilot with Imperial Japanese music headed to the Kerch Bridge. And the joke being that NAFO members are all members of the Imperial Japanese Army, and they are suicide bombing the bridge. It's a funny joke, apparently, to the NAFO people, since the bridge was suicide bombed by someone who didn't know they were driving a suicide bomb.
Yeah, fucking hilarious. Listen, am I mad? Like, okay, I'm flabbergasted. It's crazy to see it all laid out like this, but also, I'm so fucking sick of saying the obvious and people treat me like I'm crazy.
You're tanky, Lana.
Anymore. This is why I'm so black-pilled, and it's why I'm not fucking posting anything besides stupid wrestling shit on Twitter, because anytime I fucking say anything, people treat me like I'm nuts, and then like 3 weeks later, I end up being entirely correct. I'm sick of it. Every single thing I have to say on Twitter right now would get me suspended.
Yeah, I probably would.
At least we have it on the fucking record that these people are Nazis. Not that fucking wanting to, like,
Nazi Nazis.
Already they're Nazis. They're not just social imperialists. They're not, kind of social democratic, kind of okay with Nazis like that fucking worm Malcolm Nance. No, they're actual fucking Nazis. It is not even remotely, like, exaggerating or alarmist to say that.
Right, no.
What do you think the U.S. government does all over the world when it funds proxies? It's finding guys like this and plugging them full of resources. Go out there, get them, Tiger. That's what they do.
It sure is. Oh, hello. We just got a raid. Hello. Hello, what is up, left flank vets? Hello,
Oh, they're
welcome
gonna love
in.
this. They're gonna love
Welcome
this
in,
so
welcome in.
much.
Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you guys are having a good day. We are extremely pissed off right now and screaming. First off, the founder of NATO, the guy who started it, is an out-and-out neo-Nazi, posting Hitler and Goebbels memes and posting anti-Jewish memes all day. And we're digging into the NAFO network. We found this piece about a guy who found all this stuff. So we'll back up a little bit here. Even within NAFO, there's disagreement over Azov. One of NAFO's bigger accounts, Ukraine Memes for NATO Teams, has described Azov as a cancer, extremely problematic, the favorite group for actual Nazis, and concerning, like all the Nazis in Eastern Europe, including Russia. But there is an unchecked group of extreme fellas that openly support Azov and take glee in gaslighting others about the far-right politics of this neo-Nazi-led movement. In fact, NAFO's most prominent member to promote Azov's neo-Nazi Wolfsangel symbol led a defamatory campaign against a special correspondent at the Kyiv Post. Now, remember, Azov is an openly neo-Nazi organization within the National Guard. Their founder of Azov declared that it was the grand mission of the Ukrainian nation to lead the final crusade of the white races against the Semite-led Untermenschen of the world. So that is Azov's official mission, according to the founder. The Wolfsangel is a symbol used exclusively by Nazis, really neo-Nazis. The Kyiv Post is NAFO. Oh, how cute! Jason J. Smart is a right-wing U.S. political advisor who worked on the presidential campaign of John McCain and Ted Cruz and co-founded a Ukrainian NGO with Valentin, the nationalist former director of the Security Service of Ukraine. Really? Oh, that's great. Ironically, Dr. Smart's PhD dissertation in political science was about the character assassination as found in bilateral relations between the U.S. and Russia. Recently, he got a masterclass in character assassination by NAFO and was pilloried for working in Russia with the International Republican Institute, which is funded by the U.S. government. Right? How can we get these people more weapons? Alana Svenchenko, NAFO's self-declared queen and Khaleesi, and number one e-girl. Wow, she's NAFO's number one e-girl. Well, that's great. Wow, and she's got a Wolfsangel in her name. She has a Wolfsangel in her name.
It just keeps getting fucking worse.
Ready to be named Alana.
I'm going insane. She's even got crypto in her name. Come on, man.
My name is Lana, in case you don't know, and I'm in a very, very rotten mood.
Oh my god. Not
Lana,
a Nazi.
Lana, if it makes you feel better, you are not a Nazi, and you are much prettier than she is. I know. I'm not
that's right.
supposed to do that. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I'm gonna do that.
Oh, she's also
Well,
running. Oh
nobody's
my
going
god.
to stop you.
Okay, guys,
Well,
it gets even better. Not only is she a neo-Nazi, she's also running a crypto grift, claiming that it's supporting
Damn.
Ukraine.
She is.
She's
Of course she
running
is.
Ukraine DAO, Cult of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Ukraine DAO uses the power of Web3 tech and community to win the war.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Damn.
It's all of the topics I cover. Freaks on the internet, Nazis, and crypto people
Horse is
all
like
coming together
horse.
in one
All of-
beautiful
Horse,
castle.
all of your best friends are here to tell you how much they love you. All of your best friends are here.
I'm going insane right now. I literally feel like I am going insane. I have taken so many points of madness damage right now.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying before we got cut off by the raid, is I was going insane before this. Because these fucking sock accounts and bots and shit and true believers and whatever are everywhere. Like, you make any kind of post, like, even if it's incredibly milquetoast, middle of the road, just stating a fact or whatever, and you are just like, if they find it, they swerve on it.
Right, she's
Never mind.
also running a crypto project to support the Iranian protests. Amazing.
Damn horse.
And look, so her post starring senior advisor to U.S. Congress redacted, Sasha the fella, certified fella, and NAFO number one e-girl. We are NAFO. And then it's just the NATO emblem dangerously veering close to a swastika there. Wow, this is art. This is art.
It's just 2 fucking minutes, dude.
Oh my god. So she led the anti-smart campaign. She is perhaps best known as a provocative figure in the crypto community and the internet girlfriend of NAFO celebrity Paul Massaro.
Wait,
Senior
that's
policy
Paul
and
Massaro's
that
fucking
Paul
girlfriend?
Massaro. Yeah.
Holy
NAFO's
shit,
number
dude,
one
this is
e-girl is
insane.
dating Paul Massaro.
I love this timeline.
I feel like I'm going to puke from how hard I'm laughing.
This timeline rules, dude. It's so funny.
So she is a provocative crypto entrepreneur, NAFO celebrity, and internet girlfriend of NAFO celebrity Paul Massaro, a senior policy advisor to the U.S. Helsinki Commission, which is a government agency created by Congress. Great. So a spook. Virtually unknown before the war, Massaro has amassed 350,000 followers by being a mind-numbingly stupid, empty phrasemonger.
Holy shit, I love that description.
That's great. That's great.
Just calling her
Massaro's follower
stupid.
count ranks between the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv and the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is this a real person or a data script? Asked journalist Neil Hauer. Svechenko proudly displays the neo-Nazi Wolfsangel symbol in her profile and often jokes that she controls Massaro. According to her Twitter bio, I trained Paul Massaro's AI system. Okay. Why? That's fucking weird. Why are you... She says that she runs the cult of the Ukraine forces of Ukraine. Paradoxical as it sounds, the cult of Alana partially revolves around her leadership of the decentralized autonomous organization that she created after Russia's invasion. Investopedia defines a DAO as an emerging form of legal structure with no central governing body and whose members share a common goal to act in the best interest of the entity. It's just blockchain nonsense. Look at that! All Russians are guilty. Lovely. I'm sure the Russians who are protesting against the war would be thrilled to hear that. Alana founded the Ukraine DAO after Russia invaded. With the support of Nadia from Pussy Riot, the Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, both of whom are Russian, Ukraine DAO raised $7 million.
Remember when Nadia from Pussy Riot met with the State Department?
Oh yeah, which time?
Oh, I don't know. Recently, she was just there very recently,
Yeah,
and she sat and talked to Hassan Piker
amazing.
earlier that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Very funny.
Amazing. So they raised $7 million for a Ukrainian charity in March by auctioning off NFTs of the Ukrainian flag. So they raised $7 million selling NFTs of the Ukrainian flag. I gotta respect a grifter. I gotta respect a good grift. That's a great grift. Honestly, I was thinking of doing a NAFO NFT grift, but I never got around to it.
I'm trying to help you do that.
I know. Maybe we'll have to recycle it. Since March, the DAO appears to have mainly served as the function of amplifying her. A few months later, the lady from Pussy Riot called her out for going rogue after she left the project. This may have triggered her discovery of the Ukraine DAO promoting Azov's neo-Nazi Wolfsangel while depicting the symbol of the Red Cross as a swastika. Yeah, that would even make the Pussy Riot leave. Pay attention. Do not donate to the International Red Cross. Holy shit. She's literally promoting a neo-Nazi organization and saying they're not neo-Nazi while calling the Red Cross neo-Nazi. In since-deleted tweets, Kola Konakova warned, I'd be very careful about donating to someone who has a history of mismanaging. There was never of understanding of what remained of the DAO's funds.
Kola Konikova.
Aha. So she's just said that nobody knew how much of that $7 million or subsequent money that Ukraine DAO raised would go to Alana as her salary. So I'm guessing all of it. So Svenchenko admitted to paying herself $5,000 a month, but deflected from allegations of mismanagement with a long Twitter thread that vigorously accused Pussy Riot of Ukrainophobia. In July, she accused Pussy Riot of being an FSB project. Since then, her vitriol for Pussy Riot has grown to the point of calling them FSB bitches and expressing disgust for their solidarity with Ukraine. Weren't they huge pro-West anti-Russian speakers that met with the US government all the time? Hilarious. I would be awesome if Pussy Riot stopped using the genocide of Ukrainians for hype. and pushing the good Russians narrative. Yeah, that's right. Every Russian is ontologically evil. That's right. Which is, ironically, that is actually the position of the far extreme Ukrainian ethno-nationalists, the Banderites, who want an ethnically pure Ukraine, despite the fact about half of Ukraine is ethnic Russians. So, you know, you'd have to do something about half of the country. But all Russians are evil, so even the ones that don't support the war and leave the country or whatever. A month before she got called out by Pussy Riot, she started using Azov's Wolfsangel in her tweets and in her profile. Eventually, she put the neo-Nazi runic symbol in her Twitter display name, which she still has. Ukraine DAO likewise encouraged people to put the Wolfsangel in their tweet and published an explainer which lied about Azov. It's not a political organization. Holy shit. So they're just straight up gaslighting everyone about Azov. Guys, support Azov. They're not Nazis. Support them. Go ahead and put the neo-Nazi symbol in your profile to express your support. Holy shit. As her beef with Pussy Riot worsened, she began to proclaim all Russians are guilty of genocide and deserve collective punishment, which is against the Geneva Conventions. In late July, she announced that Ukraine DAO will be officially supporting Azov. Holy shit. Like, she could not be less subtle about being an open neo-Nazi. Days later, she traveled to Ukraine and met with Olena Semenka. Oh my god, the notorious female figurehead of Azov. Holy shit. Did I just hear a dog bark? Why is there a dog in my house? Hold on a second. I think my sister brought a dog. You heard a bark too? Okay, so I think my sister brought a dog. Well,
2 cars.
I have to do so much editing for this segment now. God damn it. One of my favorite things about my visit to Ukraine was meeting with Azov representatives. Uh-huh. Yeah, she's definitely not a Nazi, right? Definitely not a Nazi. Collective punishment is super fascist, and it is illegal under the rules of war. She went off the deep end. Via the Ukraine DAO, she began to compile a Twitter list of Russian foreign assets, starting with the New York Times. Yeah, guys, that's right. The New York Times works for Russia. She added Reuters, Axios, Euronews, and Meduza, The Independent, and Bellingcat, among many others. She added the fucking CIA mouthpiece, Bellingcat. Bellingcat is literally just a mouthpiece for the CIA, and she said they're a Russian asset. Amazing. The most unhinged fascist e-girl online. She claimed the Ukraine DAO was working with Azov to combat info attacks against them. Free speech, she explained, does not include the right to spread Russian lies. In the coming days, she declared the entirety of Russia's emigre opposition is just a part of Russia's special cultural operation, aimed at spreading the not all Russians narrative. This was a far cry from her special message to the Russian people back in February. Many people in Ukraine understand that not all of you support the Kremlin and how hard you fight it. We do not hate you. We are nothing like what they show you on the federal channels. So in February, she says, I understand that there's lots of Russians who don't support the war, and us Ukrainians, we aren't Nazis. We aren't like what they show you on television. We understand the nuance of the matter. And now she's like, Russians are all genociders. Cool. We are nothing like what they show you. Yes, the all Russian are guilty. Great. All right. Russian couple find refuge from the war in their Istanbul bookstore. Another 2 cowards run away from the mess they themselves created. What are you fucking talking about? You can't sit here and say that Russia is like an oligarchic, like authoritarian society that Putin has complete control of, and then simultaneously say that normal Russian citizens are responsible for everything their government does. It's not like, pick one or the other. Either it's authoritarian or they're responsible. It can't be both.
It's also like, there's also large reports of like Finland and Sweden banning Russians who have family members in the country from like fleeing, which is very ironic because these are 2 states that just filed for NATO status, and now they're acting like they're part of NATO, even though they have no real jurisdiction to do that.
Not
There's
yet.
no like real political basis for them to start banning people. Like they're not even in the Eurozone. Like, I mean, maybe if you're right, I'd have to double check that, but I don't know. This is all sus and ridiculous.
This is the most unhinged woman I have ever seen. She is now outdoing Russian propagandists in her depiction of rabid Ukrainian nationalists, right? She's like, she goes from being like Russians, the Russian propagandists are lying to you. Ukrainian nationalists aren't these rabid Nazis. We don't hate you all. We understand. 5 months later, she turns into a rabid fascist Ukrainian nationalist. So good job. You did the bit. All while sharing a surname with Ukraine's most iconic historical figure. In August, perhaps just seeking attention, she suggested that Ukraine DAO was bankrolling NAFO and wished a good morning to all of our crypto-funded fellow army. By now, she has complained that she faces abuse online every day, but almost always from pro-Ukraine accounts. She was in large part referring to the Kyiv Post correspondent Jason J. Smart, whom she described as an extremely abusive Kremlin asset. Right? So this is a guy who works for the extremely far-right, pro-Ukraine Kyiv Post, which is basically just a mouthpiece for a couple individuals, and she's saying it's a Kremlin asset. Literally anyone that's not just a Sig Heiling fascist, she's like, that's a Russian asset. Apparently for reasons like shooting down her unrealistic demand that the UN Security Council expel Russia. They can't do that. The Security Council can't do that. Their issue started in July when she indicated she thinks her Twitter spats are more important than the massive human rights violations occurring every day in Ukraine. Amazing. It was September, after all, and all of this and more, she has helped organize the Kyiv Tech Summit and hooked up with Paul Massaro in Ukraine. She arranged to bring Ethereum's Russian co-founder to Kyiv and for Azov to provide security for him. No way. They brought the founder, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, to Ukraine for a conference and got the fucking neo-Nazi militia to do security for him. I am going insane. This makes no sense. How is any of this real? Probably in Massaro's company, but she tried to sick NAFO on Neil Hauser, a journalist flabbergasted by the congressional advisor's shtick. Recently, Massaro has called for NAFO to expand to Iran as she tries to organize an Iranian DAO, and his boss, U.S. Rep. Steve Cohen, has sponsored legislation declaring that Russia is doing a genocide. In the first 2 weeks of this month alone, Alana has campaigned against U.S. professor Ian Bremmer as a pro-Russian genocide apologist, Russian journalist Leonid Ragozin as a Russian foreign asset, British correspondent Oliver Carroll for literally helping the Russians correct fire on Ukraine, Balkan journalist Yuna Hajdari for advocating to allow charlatans who have blood of Ukrainians on their hand to take up respective positions in respectable publications and continue to profit from the tragedy unfolding in Ukraine. Okay, I couldn't do that with air quotes. In fact, Hajdari said, as journos, we need to be more objective than others. We can't be a part of NAFO. We can't cheer for dead Russians. And we certainly can't ignore, however lesser they may be, mistakes Ukraine makes. Hajdari and Alana were referring to the contrived Ukrainian nationalist hoopla over the FT hiring Christopher Miller, perhaps the best-known U.S. reporter covering Ukraine. Oh my god, these people are all charlatans. In early October, the official NAFO Twitter account announced that the Fellas-affiliated St. Javelin brand agreed to become the parent company of NAFO. Wow, the parent company of NAFO. What a, weird fucking statement, honestly. I see. The two entities were already closely associated. Typically, one gets a fella by making a donation, oh my god, to the Georgian Legion or St. Javelin. So in case you don't know, St. Javelin is that place that makes like pro-Ukraine merch of a saint with a javelin missile launcher. Pro-US military-industrial complex propaganda. The Georgian Legion is a fascist paramilitary foreign legion. St. Javelin is partnered with the Ukraine World Congress, the 21st century leadership of which has been largely dominated by people associated with Nazi collaborator Stepan Bandera's criminal organization of Ukrainian nationalists. Once again, they helped do the Holocaust. For whatever reason, Christian Boris, the creator of St. Javelin, has followed me on Twitter for months. In response to the controversy about Christian Miller a couple days before the parent company announcement, Boris weighed in. This is blatant and utter bullshit. He has done remarkable work in Ukraine. This came at a cost for Boris, who drew flack from some hardliners on Twitter, including a handful of fellas, such as the moderator of the Ukraine DAO Discord. Alana's lackey posted a screenshot of themselves reporting the St. Javelin creator to Twitter for slurs or harmful tropes, and putting the following words in his mouth. I really like how this guy spent a decade demonizing Azov and relentlessly promoting Russian propaganda about Nazis in Ukraine. Literally, Azov are Nazis. I am going insane. She is just gaslighting everyone by claiming Azov aren't Nazis. I am going insane. I am going insane. Okay, the same individual accused Christopher Miller and Oliver Carroll, who writes for The Economist, of being war criminals. Wow. The day of the St. Javelin announcement, a warning emanated from NAFO's Discord and Twitter account. Hey fellows, the website nafo.me is not legitimate. We do not know where these donations are going or who owns this. We believe it to be a scam. Well, I can say that wasn't me. The website belonged to a British-Ukrainian volunteer group, UK for UA, who tried to organize a NAFO fella aid convoy without running it by the OG fellas. In August, UK for UA announced a partnership with Ukraine DAO after its founder traveled to Ukraine with Alana, the Nazi e-girl. They hoped to deliver medical aid donated by the Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organizations, led by Stefan Romanov, the first president of the Ukrainian World Congress and international OUNB leader. It just all keeps coming back to open Nazis. And this is what I say, right? That Ukrainians aren't Nazis, but there are a lot of really powerful fascists in Ukraine who are in positions of incredible power thanks to the United States' interference since 2009. And in Maidan 2014, we basically handpicked all the Nazis, we put them in cabinet positions. Hell, we made the head of the military, the head of the armed forces, made him a Nazi. We put a Nazi in charge of the army. And you wonder how Azov got integrated as an official battalion against the protests of other people in the army. Very cool. Needless to say, E-Girl was livid. You guys have no clue how much damage you are doing right now to Ukraine. She chastised the official NAFO account. I didn't know NAFO was so centralized. Amazing. In the 48-hour window between Christopher Miller and UK for UA controversies, the creator of NAFO TV quit. I'm still stunned at how quickly they turned on me. I guess they are what people have been saying all this time. Another fella soon announced to retirement. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm disillusioned by my fellow fellas. I have been supporting the war since day one. I now have a fellow fella coming for me so hard in my DMs. Oh, we hate it when a fellow fella comes for us hard in the DMs. All because I stood up for someone. Is this what it means to be NAFO? Buddy, that's what it's always meant to be, NAFO. NAFO's been Nazis the whole way down. And here we get to the creator of NAFO, who is an open anti-Semite. With NAFO perhaps starting to wane, it is worth remembering how it began. It all started earlier this year with an anonymous Twitter user named Kama Kamila, who I've accidentally just discovered is named Kamil, Polish last name I can't pronounce, and specializes in reviewing video games. One day, he made himself a militaristic Shiba Inu avatar. Someone else wanted one. In exchange, they offered to make a donation to a charity of his choice. Kama answered, the Georgian Legion. The fascist one. Soon enough, anyone could get a fella if they helped feed the wolves. Of course, he's a fucking game reviewer. Of course, it's a Polish fascist game reviewer. I was going to say I'm glad this is out because I'm sick and fucking tired of being made to feel insane for having a basic pattern recognition and actually watching what people do. Again, I'm a Slavic Jew. No one who supports this is a leftist. They're saying they're okay if people like me die. We are the enemies. Right, exactly. Right. These people literally want to kill every Slavic Jew. NAFO founder Kamil is an anti-Semitic gamer from Poland. And this is the thread. So these are some of the things he's posted. Oh, look, like I said, he's posting Hitler memes, and Goebbels memes, and Sam Hyde memes, and accelerationist memes. Here he is saying that it's based that peaceful protesters got run over. Must be a Destiny fan. So Mamuka founded the Georgian Legion in 2014 and has served as its commander for 8 years. He is a former senior military advisor to the imprisoned Georgian president turned Odessa governor Mikhail, and his NAFO-founded unit are said to have grown from a small militia on the outskirts of the Ukrainian military establishment to one of their most stalwart special forces groups. Yay! He has reportedly tried to draw a distinction between his group and Azov, insisting that extremists are banned. I have to exclude some religious fanatics or extremism or Nazis or racism or whatever. But according to journalist Leonid Rogozin, the Georgian Legion is affiliated with Azov and is based in Azov's HQ in Kyiv. As one Swedish fellow put it, you're like Azov without the PR problem. Cool. A video where Russian soldiers are executed. A Georgian Legion member is ID'd. Apparently, their policy is to kill soldiers on the spot. In 2017, an explosive Italian documentary featured several Georgian ex-military who alleged that he had hired them as snipers for the Kyiv massacre in February 2014 that participated in the overthrow of Russia's or Ukraine's last pro-Russian government. That's right, guys. There are pretty strong rumors that the Georgian Legion were the Maidan snipers, right? Because remember, the final event that set Maidan boiling into a coup, right? It had already been basically taken over by C-14, Svoboda, and Right Sector, all fascist paramilitaries, right? And once a political party, but basically all fascist street gangs of paramilitaries. They had taken the lead, they were already agitating, and they were moving to overthrow the government. And then all of a sudden, you have this massacre in Kyiv, right? There's snipers on the buildings, and they start firing into the crowd, and they're killing security officers, security forces, as well as protesters, right? No one's ever identified the Kyiv snipers, ever, right? Obviously, the line was that it was the Ukrainian government, but they, of course, roundly denied it, and people in the Ukrainian security forces back at the time have said that none of them did it, right? And they also shot Ukrainian security forces, too, so for the longest time, people speculated it was the CIA. After Russia's invasion in 2020, the Georgian Legion became one of the top destinations for foreign fight volunteers to defend Ukraine. The unit's public emphasis on screening recruits probably had to do with the history of bad PR. Well, that is some bad PR, such as the American Craig Lang, implicated in a double homicide, Norwegian neo-Nazi Furholm, can't say that, former Australian neo-Nazi Tilling, and others all spent time in the Georgian Legion volunteer unit. Craig Lang, by the way, he decided to go train with the Georgian Legion in Right Sector in Ukraine and fight in the Donbass in the Civil War, and in order to get the funds to go over there, him and another soldier in the U.S. Army he was friends with set up a fake arms deal on the black market, told this couple in Florida, I believe, that they were going to sell, literally $20,000 worth of weapons for $8,000. They meet them in a parking lot, ambush, execute them, take the money, flee to Ukraine. They have not been extradited. It's wild how these libs don't see the connection between all their fave bread tubers being all white. Right. NAFO might be the best thing to ever happen to the Georgian Legion. Not to mention the financial windfall that now has a digital army of PR soldiers spread around the world. According to the creator of NAFO TV, I make videos for the Georgian Legion. In the early days of NAFO, perhaps half joking, Kama Kamila announced, yeah, I'm putting together a team. The most prominent among them was Spaghetti Kozak, known as Jim, although this is a pseudonym. Kovpak, a former blogger now fighting in Ukraine, is ostensibly left-wing Ukrainian nationalist. Right. To hear it from him just a couple days ago, 90% of the time, the Ukrainian military is said to be photographed with Nazi symbols. It's not true. But when it comes to the Democratic Socialists of America, most of these people are Nazis. That's right. That's a very left-wing thing to say. That's right. All the guys with Nazi symbols, they're not Nazis. But the DSA, they're Nazis. Great analysis. At some point, Kovpak became the favorite online humorist of the Ukraine experts. Jim Kovpak, a former contributor and repeated guest host of StopFake, a propagandistic fact-checking outlet based in Ukraine. By the way, StopFake claimed that Lula, the Brazilian presidential candidate, was a Russian asset. As Lev Golinkin wrote earlier this year for The Nation, StopFake is a U.S. government-funded anti-disinformation organization founded in March 2014. Right after Maidan, and lauded as a model of how to combat Kremlin lies. 4 years later, StopFake began aggressively whitewashing two Ukrainian neo-Nazi groups with a long track record of violence, including war crimes. I wonder which ones those are. Do you think it's Azov and Right Sector? That's what my money's on. The principal host and producer of StopFake's English language videos are bona fide Banderites. Facebook's... By the way, StopFake, this U.S.-funded Nazi group, is the fucking fact checker that Facebook uses for Ukraine. Will they cover related to far-right neo-Nazism? Very cool. He's hanging out with Banderites. So I worked in counter disinfo for years, and what we were doing virtually had zero impact. NAFO is exactly the kind of thing I wanted to see, but the decision makers and purse holders can't appreciate it. Now the fellas, including John Cipher, a veteran of the CIA who ran its Russian operations, Anna Bunnick, an analyst at the conservative Jamestown Foundation, founded with the CIA's support, and Alex Plitzis, senior fellow at the U.S. government-funded Atlantic Council, detailed the Pentagon to the intelligence community, representing the Secretary of Defense. Very cool. All these people are pro-NAFO. This is great. Kinzinger has declared NAFO a future case study on how to counter online disinfo. It's funny, but the goal purpose is quite serious. Money raised for groups like the Georgian Legion and Sign My Rocket, and the Russians hate it. By the way, Sign My Rocket is the organization that if you're willing to pay them $2,000, they will write your message on a grenade, which they will then put on a drone, and they will film a video of them dropping the grenade on a Russian soldier, and they will send it to you once they confirm the kill. So Sign My Rocket, for $2,000, you can get your very own snuff film. It's also the same organization that Vosh and his fans have repeatedly purchased rockets from. As a matter of fact, left-wing commentator Vosh actually posted a picture of another Sign My Rocket rocket that is community bought yesterday. Voshites helping to denazify Ukraine from Vosh and his NATO allies. Imagine a left-winger being this aggressively pro-NATO. Sickening. Honestly, sickening. Absolutely disgusting, absolutely deranged. This is not human behavior. Oh, they're not willfully ignorant. They know exactly what they're doing. These people are taking joy in watching others die. Once again, even if you believe the Russians are ontologically evil and everything they're doing is bad, right? You are still taking glee in paying to watch another human being be killed. Right? I cannot overstate that enough. That you are paying money to kill another human being and have that video of a human being being blown apart sent to you in exchange for money. Vosh is a fascist. You can clip it. Sign My Rocket sells videos, mostly to Americans, of bombs with customized messages killing Russians. Their clients include Adam Kinzinger, who has all but advocated World War III. The sadistic service is largely geared towards NAFO. There's a Paul Massaro rocket. Most concerning about NAFO is that it's gaslighting us about World War III. This might be cliche, but some of the videos produced by NAFO's parent company make me feel like I'm watching an episode of Black Mirror.
I feel like this is my new home.
What made you come here? Like, why America's Got Talent?
Well, as you all know, Russia has invaded Ukraine and is causing unspeakable pain to Ukrainian people, and I know...
What the fuck? Whatever the truth about NAFO, my new favorite conspiracy theory is that it's all a Russian psyop to undermine support for NATO in Ukraine. I'm gonna go with, that's a good angle. That's a good angle. Like, look at this shit. After seeing NAFO fellas threaten to firebomb the Quincy Institute as a joke, I'm starting to wonder if NAFO is a Russian psyop designed to undermine the genuinely good work done by pro-Ukraine advocates. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. These people are fucking sick. All of these people are just fucking open neo-Nazis, right? I'm sorry. Paying to have your community or your community paying to put your name and the name of the largest servicer of imperialism in the world on an artillery shell, which we use to kill conscripts. It's fucking sickening. Having a fucking Wolfsangel in your name is fucking sickening. Like, these people are fascists. There's no way about it. These people are fascists. That's it. End of the story.